Hello everyone, and welcome to the August 2025 Energetic Insights. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Deepika Mystery, and I'm an intuitive guide, energy healer, coach, and a consultant. And for almost 6 years now, I've been sharing these insights on a month-by-month basis, and it's really geared up for those of you that are becoming more and more consciously aware of your intuitive and energetic abilities and are looking for some practical guidance to help you to navigate your way through. So if this sounds like you, welcome, you're here at the right place. Oh my goodness, what a month was July, and wow, we're in for another powerful month, and it's full of opportunities as well. Before I dive into the energies for this month, I've got a couple of quick announcements. The first one is the group meditation, our healing journey, is taking place on Sunday the 17th of August at our usual time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time, and 7 p.m. European time. And the theme this month is called Sacred Fire Rising. I am so excited about this theme, and it feels like it's a follow-on from the work that we were doing last month as well. And then those of you that are looking for some one-to-one support, I have got some spaces left available in my 3-month or the 12-month container. Please do go ahead to my website and send me a message there, and I will get back to you. And then finally, if you haven't already subscribed, please do go ahead and subscribe to this channel and share these insights with those that you think that will benefit from it, will enjoy the messages. Comment below and leave a thumbs up. All this will help me to grow this channel and also for these messages to reach those that actually really need to hear this. All right, let's dive into the energies for this month. Before I go into August, wow, what a powerful month July was. And I feel July is part 1 and August is part 2. So a lot of the themes from July is going to carry forward into August, especially the theme called accelerated ascension. And this is about the more you become into alignment, the more that you accelerate it. So if you've got this kind of stop, start kind of feeling, there's alignment that is also happening that then will allow you to accelerate forward. And the process does get easier the more that you allow yourself to surrender and come into alignment. And that alignment means you have to let go of what you don't need to carry. You can't take stuff that's not meant to go forward, so you have to let go. So it's a process of surrendering and letting go. The energy this month is really, really interesting. And I got this sense that each of the themes are infused with the 5 elements: earth, fire, water, air, spirit. And then there's this kind of sense of encapsulation of the energy of the stars, and it's really, really beautiful. And you'll see a lot of these elements working through each and every one of the themes, and I think it's really important. So use earth as a way of grounding and grounding deeper. Use fire to propel you forward and to clear the path that, you know, if you're carrying stuff and you don't want to carry it anymore, use it to kind of clear that out. Use water for cleansing, and make sure you are hydrating, because this again helps the energies to move through, helps your body to cleanse, and helps your energetic field to cleanse. So all of this is really, really beneficial. Air, I think, is about speaking your truth and allowing yourself to voice what you need to voice, whether it's through writing, whether it's through having a conversation with someone, or whether it's just having a dialogue with yourself or with your spirit guides. And then spirit is, I feel that we're getting more and more connected to the intangibles and the energetic realm. So I think this is what it represents, and more of us are expanding into this field. So we've got this physical reality that is happening, but then there's also this energetic reality that is merging with this physical reality. And I feel that these stars just really hold the space for all of this to happen. And the stars kind of connect with the earth. So again, like I mentioned in July's insight, imagine that you are this beautiful, beautiful big tree, and you're really anchoring deep down into the earth, and your feet become one with the roots of the tree, and your arms and your hands and your fingers become the branches of the tree that then reaches out up into the cosmos, into the stars, and connects with that light, and then it brings it through your body. So your body becomes this conduit for this beautiful light that is coming in, and that way you'll be able to hold more of that light, and also to help yourself to clear what needs to be cleared. This month, there's a great opportunity. There is a sense of stepping into something new, stepping into a new reality. It's almost like July was a month of, right, okay, what haven't you cleared so far? Let's go back, let's revisit it, let's do another round of spring cleaning and make sure everything is squeaky clean so that you can really take this step forward. And it's almost like a leap forward. So we're kind of stepping onto this path that hasn't got a map, hasn't been trodden on yet before, and it doesn't quite exist until we step onto it. And I think that's the key thing. The path doesn't exist until we step onto it. And that can be quite mind-boggling, but it's not meant to be coming from the mind, it's coming from the heart. And the themes this month actually speak to that in various different ways. So there's an opportunity to shift gears, which I think is that, you know, if you are in second gears and you're at the top end of second gears, it's time to now shift into the third gear. But if you're in fourth gear and the car is kind of going, oh, I'm struggling to move, you need to shift back into third gear. So it can go both ways. And it's almost like a reminder, you've got the opportunity and you can. You are in power, you are empowered to shift the gears whichever way that you need to shift them. You don't have to keep them in the gear that they are in. And then there's an opportunity here to leave the past in the past. And this really includes pretty much everything. It includes your ancestral wounding that you've been carrying. It includes your mother-father wounding that you have been carrying, past life stuff, and it's just everything. Anything that you do not want to take forward on this accelerated ascension path, just leave it behind. And there's another opportunity to do this. And those of you that haven't had this kind of stop, start feeling with the accelerated ascension from last month, then you probably need to let go of whatever it is, the load that you're carrying. And then those that have let go and we've accelerated, there is this opportunity to start this new adventure. And it's exciting. Initially, there will be this sense of, oh my God, what is this? This is a little bit daunting. I don't know if I can do this, And I know this feeling so well. And then there's a shift that happens. And I can't quite tell you what that shift is. It's almost like you get to a point that you stop fearing what's not there, rather than it changes into becoming excited. And you can't force it. It's almost like you have to sit with your fear and not try to force your fear or suppress your fear. Just let the fear be. And then all of a sudden the shift happens and you'll get a little glimpse of excitement. And a little excitement, I'm hoping there's going to be more excitement for this untrodden path, because that's where I am at. Because I could feel that I need to step forward, but I knew I couldn't step forward because there was all this fear. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was this glimpse of excitement. So I think many of us are going to be feeling that, and then that excitement is going to grow. And you may fall back into fear, and that's okay. Sit with it, because you're just expanding your energy field. And there's an opportunity to birth ourselves anew. So really powerful month. And it's going to be another intense month as well. So I've got some couple of key dates here. So I already mentioned in the July insights that the 2nd to the 7th of August, we're going to go through the second wave of the starlight jetstream energy. And I'll talk more about this in theme 1. And I'm recording this on the 4th, so we're right in the middle of it. And I think that some of us will feel this kind of lifting sensation. And I know I'm certainly feeling, July felt quite dense and heavy, that I was revisiting some old stuff. And now there's something like, okay, I can take this coat off. I don't need to carry that. And there's a lifting sensation. But I think that lifting sensation will carry on throughout the month. And then between 8th of August and 9th of September, there's this sense of shockwaves, integration and recalibration energy. And I think it's to integrate this starlight jetstream energy over the next kind of months. And therefore we may not feel the starlight jetstream energy right now. We may understand it and feel it more intensely by the end of it, because it's been integrated. So there's so many different levels and layers to it. And then on the 21st of August, this is really interesting. I got this sense of a turning point and tides of change. And I feel that this links to the accelerated ascension. So for some of you, if you're still in that stop, start, then you might have that timeline jump or that leap or that shift, or you might then go through a really deep purging for yourself, for the collective. And then there's a clearing and there's an opening, and then you leap forward. So I think the sense is there's this leaping sensation forward, or there is a deepening of the connection with your soul family, or knowing of who you truly are. So very, 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 very exciting and very jam-packed. And yeah, it is all on speed right now. All the energies are on speed right now. So make sure you're grounding, like I said, hydrating and resting. And I think I'll cover more of that in the themes to come. Okay, let me share the first message that has come through from the guides. And I actually don't have a name for this, but I'm sure I'll add a name to it at some point. But I'm just going to go in and share the overall message. And the guides go: the time of remembering is now. You are a soul in human form. Your human is in the process of birthing the energy of your soul. You are not here by accident. You are here by your own design. As you release the human conditionings, you set yourself free from the shackles of your karma. New space is created. This space is sacred. And we ask that you honor and surrender into it. It's nothing and everything. Allow it to hold and nourish you as you birth yourself anew. So I feel that encapsulates all the energies for this month. Before I dive into the first theme this month, let's take a quick recap of the themes from July. And they were Heart Breaks Open, Time and Light Technology, Accelerated Ascension, and Remember Who You Are. And again, I think all of these themes are weaving into the energies for this month. And I think some of the energies for this month will also may have been relevant for some of you guys last month as well. So yes, we are in for a treat this month, depending on how you define a treat. Anyway, let's dive into the first theme for this month, and it's called Light Encoded Technology. And the guides go: we are here to remind you that what you seek doesn't exist outside of you. It resides within you. The experiences of your creation forms through your being. We say inside out. You have been led to believe that technology is outside of you. We say no. You are the light encoded technology. Your remembering of self is the key to its activation. You are biological, electrical, energy beings. Your human's potential has been limited. Until this time, it had to be so. There is an orchestration that cannot be comprehended by the human mind, yet can be known and felt through the surrendering of your open heart. So, yes. I think this message speaks volumes about various different things. And this is the second wave of Starlight Jetstream energy. The first one was on the 23rd to the 25th of May, and you can go back to May's Insight and take a watch of that. And then the third one, I think the dates that I've kind of got here are the 17th to the 27th of November. Again, each of these Starlight Jetstream energies are different in nature. They carry a different frequency, they carry a different type of energy. And I feel that this message is really saying that if you're looking outside of yourself for that technology or the light to kind of come in, actually it's already inside of you. And it's kind of letting go of the conditionings and stuff that stop you from actually accessing that and knowing that and believing in that within yourself. And And we often think of technology as something outside of us. Like right now, we've got AI that is going on. I am sure I'm going to have to record something which is a much bigger conversation of the difference between the light encoded technology versus AI. There's a huge difference. And I am going to say one thing about this is that AI does not have a consciousness versus light technology, because it's residing within inside of you. It is conscious technology, and I'm going to leave it at that. And I feel that this is going to be a bigger discussion, and if you've got questions about it, please leave the questions below, and I'm sure I'll set up something where, you know, we can sit down with this is just coming through now, so I'm just making this up on the spot, and we can sit down with my guide team and ask them the questions. And I think this is something I'm going to do with a friend of mine anyway, so if I get the information, I will share it somehow. And I'm not sure if it'll be video format, but in written format. Anyway, I digress. But what the sense that I got for this light encoded technology was to think about it. I think the last, starlight, jetstream energy wave 1, I got a reference to a movie, which was, I think, Finding Nemo, and where the turtles had those kind of jet streams that kind of propelled you forward. This time I got another movie reference, and they said think about Hidden Figures. If you haven't watched it, it's a movie I recommend you watching, and computers back then were humans. So it's reminding you that we are the technology in ways that we don't actually fully understand right now, and this is the transformation and the change that we're going through as human beings, as more of our soul energies come in, and that only happens as we open up our hearts. And again, I'll talk more about that because that's part of the second theme. And you know, oftentimes we seek something that is outside of us because we're looking for that meaning, we're looking for that connection, because there's a sense of, you know, feeling lost, feeling disconnected, and through our societal conditioning, some of us, many of us, I would include myself, we've lost our way. We lost our way, and we lost our connection with ourselves, and we lost the connection with something that is truly within us. And all the teachings and stuff was also got lost along the way. So it's easier to look for something outside of us to fulfill ourselves. So we may be overworking, we may be addicted to making money, losing money, sex, drugs. I was going to say rock and roll, but that doesn't add to it, but it only sounded fun at the point there. But yet, you know, we can be addicted to all of these stuff and looking for meaning, looking for purpose, yet feeling empty and somewhat empty, and it adds no value, and therefore it's not outside of yourself. That's an invitation to actually go within yourself. And then a lot of this is actually driven by the ego, and it's driven by the conditioning. And the way that I was given this information was to think about, okay, you're born in your natural state. Yes, there are elements of this where you're kind of carrying the ancestral wounding, maybe carrying your past life wounding, but think about it as you've been pure without any societal conditioning. And then what happens, the conditioning comes along, and it's almost like a code, and a virus type of code that overwrites your natural code. So the process in which we're going through at the moment, and I'll talk more about this in theme 2, is that we are clearing out the virus so that we can come back to our natural makeup and our natural code and our natural operating system. So that's the way to kind of have a look at this. And the light encoded technology, there are many different levels to this, and I've seen this in several different ways, and I feel that there's going to be some of us who are conscious and who are awake and really connected to this, and it's part of our soul contract where we are here to use this light technology to pave paths anew. So walk on paths that haven't yet been trodden on, that doesn't yet exist until we've actually trodden on them. So we're here to do that. And then there are some that are here to then follow in those footsteps and build upon those untrodden paths so that others can also then follow. And then there's some of us that are just here to follow onto those paths. Some of us are then here to lead the followers onto the new paths. And then some of us are here to be the bridge between the old path and the new path. And then some of us are meant to do all of it. at different points in time, and helping different people at different levels and points in time as well. So that's how I received this information. And again, it's really, really layered in that. And the other way that I saw this, and this is coming from my musical background, and the way that this lighting encoded technology was described to me or shown to me by my guide team, was to imagine that you have a song inside of you that is your soul song, and there's all these notes there. It's a piece of music, so you have all of these notes, and these notes have articulation, have phrasing. And depending on how awake you are and how conscious you are and how connected you are, you might be able to play one note. You might be able to play part of the notes or part of the piece. And then if you can play that, you might then also be able to add in the phrasing, and you may then be able to add in the articulation. And then for some, you might be able to play the whole piece with all the notes absolutely perfectly, with all the articulations, with all the phrasing and the rest of it. And you can play that and you can sing that. And yet there's another step beyond that. So those of you that are musically inclined and played a musical instrument or have sung, you know that it goes beyond the notes that are written on the page. It's actually playing the spaces between the notes and creating this beautiful atmosphere. So we all have that within us. We've just got, we are learning to play our own song, and we're at different levels of playing our own song. So allow yourself to continue to grow, and even if you're playing one note perfectly, well done. Really celebrate yourself, because many of us don't even get a chance to do that, or haven't got a chance to do that yet in our lifetime. So it's huge, and there's many levels to it. So allow yourself just to go through it step by step. All right, let's dive into the second theme for this month. And this theme, oh gosh, it's a powerful one on many different levels. Theme 2 is called Grief, Portal of Change. And the guides go: grief is a powerful transformative portal. It activates the deepest level of change. Many of you fear it, tiptoeing on the outer edges, yet deeply yearn to be taken by it, surrendering into its nothingness where everything is alive. The precious tears of grief clears the shadows of the past, revealing the heart that lays hidden, awaiting its moment to be cracked open by the light that sees. Only the brave and courageous will allow the waves of grief to take them, not knowing where, when, how, or if they shall return. Only in the deepest surrendering to the darkness of one's suppression can the voice of truth be found, leading one back home to the hearts opened, alive, and forever changed. So it's a beautiful, beautiful message, and I will share a bit more about my own experience about grief in the fourth theme. But I think there are so many different levels and so many different layers to grief. And grief is a powerful portal of change. It cracks open our hearts. And oftentimes we keep our hearts closed because there is so much crap that is buried in there. And part of the process is surrendering to it, opening our hearts up, feeling everything that we need to feel. And as we do that, we come out changed. It is the process that comes out change. But the thing with grief, it's waves. So you think you've done one level, then there's another, then there's another, then there's another, and it is absolutely exhausting. But each time you come out stronger, you go through this death cycle and you are born anew through the grief. And one of the things about grief is many of us think it's linked to something tangible, so a loss of loved one. You may have got fired from your job, or a loss of relationship, whether it's a friendship relationship or a partnership, in business, in love, whatever it is, or even a change in relationship. Even say for example, you move to a different country and your relationships in the country that you were from completely changed, or even to a different city, or you lost a significant item of yours that belonged to your grandmother or something like that. Again, those are tangible forms of grief. What I feel that this is kind of going into deeper and asking us to go deeper in. So say that you experience a loss of a loved one recently, and or maybe even 5 years ago, yet you're still grieving. And it may not be that you're grieving for them. It's like a portal that allows you to grieve for all the intangible stuff, because it doesn't make sense to your mind to grieve for something that is not tangible. So it may be that's a loved one passed 5 years ago and you're grieving that. So there's a part of you that's still grieving that. And yet the grief can be so intense because it's also an opening right now that allows you to process all the intangible grief that we don't fully acknowledge, the intangible loss. So that this could be loss of a life that we never got to live. So we may have been, I know this is a true fact for myself, being on the beach in Maui in my 30s, having this dream of a life. I know some of my grief has been linked of, oh, that life never got to be lived. That never happened for me. So, and then there's this sense of, oh gosh, I'm never going to have that experience. And it's important to allow that grief to move through. It doesn't mean that it's never going to happen for me in terms of the life that I dream for myself. It's just sometimes it has a timeline, because you imagine, I'm going to do this, this and this in my 30s. I'm going to do this, this and this in my 20s. I'm going to do this, this and this in my 40s. And sometimes life doesn't happen that way. Sometimes it completely falls apart, or it course corrects you or directs you into different ways. So sometimes we need that space to honor the life that had not got lived. And sometimes it could be love that never got fulfilled. Maybe your loved one died, or maybe that you broke up before it was you even had a chance to get together, or you just didn't get together because the circumstances didn't allow that. And there's a lot of grief in that, and I know that one really, really personally as well. So there's things of that. So it's a loss of potential of a life that you had desired in your heart, or you imagined for yourself. And also this could be things that you have planned, even something simple as going away with your friends, or you plan this big trip and then something happens to your financial situations and you can't go, or something happens to your health and you can't go. And you can grieve loss of health too. So many different levels and layers to this. So allow yourself to grieve, because grief breaks the mind, but it opens the heart. And the sense I get here is that there's a great opportunity this month to release any expectations, the conditionings, the patterns and programmings. It's an opportunity to really open your heart, to really express what's been suppressed. And sometimes we are grieving for that 5-year-old version of ourselves, or that 2-year-old versions where our needs didn't get met as well. And that it also comes with the intangible parts of the grief, which I think is a lot of what we're grieving at the moment. And our grief is also linked to the collective grief. So it may feel a lot more intense than if we were to just grieve what we're grieving. Again, I will share my own personal experience, which will then kind of really bring all of this to light, because it is kind of linked to this theme, and it's also linked to theme 4 in this month. And I feel with this grief, it's awakening us to another level of trust, and it really allows more light to come in. And as more light comes in, more of our soul energy comes in, and the more we can live in this human form from a soul's energy and a soul perspective. So it's intense, but yeah, there is some incredible energies around this. All right, let's move on to the third theme. Oh my God, this one really excites me. It's called Sacred Fire Rising, and I really love this message that's come from the guides. And they go, there is a fire that resides within you, deep inside your womb. She is rising, asking to be embraced. She is sacred in nature, carrying the energies of creation and destruction. She is awaiting you to embody her fully, without fear, without doubt. She will not burn your truth. Only the lies in which you have been told will be burnt in her presence. We say, let go of the good girl, boy personas. the need for perfection and to please, that of which can never be pleased. And let a sacred fire propel you forward on your creative path of destiny, alighting to ashes all that was never yours to carry. So I know I paused there because I'm just like, I don't know what I've written there, but I think that is such an incredible message. And when it wrote through me, I had goosebumps all over my bodies. I'm just like, wow, this is such a message around empowerment and how we have, taught to fear our own personal power that then contains us. And I think that's why there's so many of us right now that is seeking to set ourselves free, that's looking for that feeling of liberations, that feels trapped. And we're often trapped in our own conditionings, in the societal conditioning of what a good girl looks like or what a good boy looks like. And then we either climb to the top of the ladder and we're successful in business or we're successful in this job, and yet we feel trapped or we feel empty. And so this is about allowing the sacred fire to really set yourself free. And it's so powerful, because many of us that have the good girl and good boy personas, we are people pleasers at heart. And so we are looking for that external validation. They're looking to be to have our worth validated by something outside of us. And this sacred fire rising is kind of saying, hey, what you're looking for is actually within yourself, and that you can't stop denying it. And what we've been taught is to fear it. But if we are in alignment with our truth, it won't burn us. It will only burn the lines. And oftentimes we don't want to let go of the conditionings. Say, for example, that you are somebody that's at the top of your career, making loads of money, have all the health, the wealth, and the finance, all of that in tow, the relationships, the friendships, the communities, etc. Yet you feel dead or empty inside, or even trapped inside. So what this is about is, where have you built that from? Have you built that in, to prove your worth to something, to seek validation from? And oftentimes it's a father wound or a mother wound that you're carrying, that is then kind of that invisible wound that has been driving this. And then you're looking to please others. So maybe there's a father wound there, and you're looking to say, hey dad, look, I've done all of this, are you not happy with me now? And what this is saying is that you're looking, there's a saying here, the need for perfection and to please, that of which can never be pleased. And what they're saying is that sometimes we're looking to please someone that is unhappy themselves. Until they are happy within themselves, we can never please them. So again, I think this is really linked to the childhood wounding, father wound and mother wound. Let's see what else I've got here. There's so much. I'm going off on different tangents because all the messages coming through, and I've got so much to say about this, and I'll say more about this in our group meditation this month. And really this started last month in terms of the accelerated ascension, and this is something that came through from my guide team last month. And I feel that this is a really powerful energy moving through us. And if we're ready to embrace it, we will set ourselves free, and it will burn away the baggages that we've been carrying. And that's linked to relational dynamics. And I've already said mother and father wound. And I also feel that sometimes we hold on tightly to what we know because we're afraid of what we don't know. So, and I think what is meant for you to say, like, for example, you're somebody that you're at the top of your game, and you're afraid if you were to change anything right now, you'll lose everything. And so you have a choice to make of whether you lose the perception of what you've got versus losing yourself. So there's a choice here that many of you may need to be making, or might be pushed to make at this point. And there's no right and there's no wrong answer. The choice is always yours. And I think it always comes back to what you want to experience. And sometimes making that brave decision sets you free. And then you realize that actually everything that you were holding on to it's not really in alignment with you. So it kind of falling away doesn't really hurt you as much as you think it would hurt you. So again, it's about that ego holding on to tightly of what you're carrying, because there's an unhealed part of you that has been driving that. So it's an opportunity to heal as well. Okay, and then, right, I think, let me just read this. Right, there's another part to this as well, which I think is really, really important. And a lot of what I'm saying here is I have got personal experience of this, because I have been prone to burnout, and I did burn out quite significantly back in 2009. And one of the things that I've learned, burnout is not something that happens to us from the outside, it's something that happens from the inside out. And really it's this sense that I get. So think about this fire that it was within us, that is a creative force, yet we keep suppressing it. And eventually it starts to burn us because we don't know how to let it out. We're too afraid to let it out. And I think this is a thing here, that we are taught to fear our own personal power. So then we suppress it. And that suppression and that need to be a good boy, that need to be a good girl, the need to be perfect for something outside of ourselves, then ends up burning us. And then we keep going on this treadmill. And then what then leads to burnout, whether it's burnout in your family life or in your work life. So it's a really, really interesting dynamic. Again, I have so much I want to share about this. And if you want to know more about this or want to dive in deeper, do come to the group meditation this month. And if you've got any questions, let me know. And I would love to do a bigger topic on this, because this is something I'm really, really, really passionate about. And it's very, very, very exciting, especially this creative energy. And think about don't fear the destruction. Think about the destructive energy, the destruction of fire. It's going to create that path that you cannot see at the moment. It's going to make that clearing happen, because it's going to clear away everything that you've been carrying that's not yours to carry. I know I'm repeating myself here, but I hope this helps. All right, let's move on to the fourth and final theme for this month. And this one is called integration and recalibration. And the guides go: allow the shockwaves of nature to move through you, remembering that you are one with the earth. This is a recalibration of your human, integrating the activated light encoded technology. Solace can be found in stillness. Rest and allow the wisdom of your body and soul to birth itself anew. Your human is a portal to your soul. It is safe to open your heart and surrender, trusting a wisdom that is beyond your time, yet their calling is ancient and is felt unknown through your particles that vibrate in union with its song. So another insightful and powerful message for this month. And I feel that this is really about letting go of control and allowing something that is beyond what you think you know, to surrender into it and let it take over, let it do what it needs to do, because there's a wisdom that we have within ourselves that we keep suppressing, that we do not honor, and that's trying to come through. And that's why we're having the experiences that we're having, because it's about breaking us free from our societal conditionings, and so that we can become who we truly are in our own nature. So, this is so incredible. What the guides are saying, yes, so we don't know this new path in our minds, but our body does and our soul does. So it's like when they say, get out of your own way. So we just have to get out of our own way for this. And what I wanted to do with this theme really links to the other themes. And I will try and explain it through an experience that I had last month. And it links to the grief as a portal of change. And it links to this, and I'll describe it as my personal experience purely because somebody messaged me, one of you guys messaged me this morning, you know who you are, asking me about, how valuable you find it when I share my personal experiences. And one thing I will say about that, yes, I'm happy to share my personal experiences. And yes, you can use it for inspiration, but don't let it be your roadmap. Your roadmap and your map is unique to you, and you are the one that holds the key to that roadmap. So I would be looking to find that key to unlocking your roadmap. But I will share this because I know that sharing some of this, as my friend said to me this morning when she left me a message, that she finds this really, really useful. You know who you are. Okay, so last month I had this experience, and it's linked to the grief energy, and I would term it wailing of grief and lost at seas. And it was really an experience of death and rebirth, yet it felt like death. It didn't feel like a rebirth. And it was so, so intense. And I am no stranger to grief. And I'm no stranger of this feeling of crying on the bathroom floor, wanting to die and never wanting to wake up again, etc., etc., etc. I'm no stranger to that. Yet this felt really different. This felt so much more intense. And there was this feeling of like, whoa, this is really... I think because of my past experience, I know the process and I know how to allow the process to move through me. And because it's almost like my muscle and I'm being trained in that way. And, I'm just saying this now, and now it's making sense of why I've probably had to have the experience I've had to have. So when this came, I could hold the energy. And this is a key thing. I was able to hold this. So I was allow the emotions to move through me, through my body, through my cellular system, through my mind, through my heart. And I really felt this sensation of something, my heart literally breaking open, something being pulled out of my solar plexus, but I knew it was different. And I know some of it was mine, some of it was a collective, some of it was my ancestors, some of it was from people that it's in my energy field. And it was a huge, huge clearing. And there was this sense of, I knew that this was part of my soul contract. I knew that I came here to do this, to clear, have this huge release and clear it through my physical body. And so that it will allow me to, align to my path, to my destiny, path of destiny. Definitely not a pleasant experience, because you go to bed crying, you wake up crying, and you get this sense of, oh my God, I cannot breathe because there's so much snot clogging your nose. I know I'm joking about it, but trust me, it wasn't a joke. But the image that I had, so once I came out of it and came through it, there's two things I knew. One, it was completely different to any kind of grief that I've experienced before. Two, I knew it was bigger on a soul level than my own personal experience, and it's a combination of different things. And I didn't feel, what's the word that I'm looking for? Oftentimes with this experience, you can feel really, really vulnerable. There was a vulnerability there, yet there was a deep, deep strength. And I've never felt that before. And there's a strength of really, really a deeper connection with me. And there was this sense in the way that I would describe this wailing of this grief was like I was on this cliff top, connected to the land, connected to the water. And for me, the personal experience was grieving for a life that I've not got a chance to live. And that was the trigger for me, but it was more than that. And then what then happened as the wailing of the grief took place and moved through me, I eventually found myself in the sea, looking up at the stars, being held by water. And those that know me know that my element, I love water. So I was in this space, just being completely held by water. And it was almost like if anyone tried to poke at it, the fire energy will come out and push it away. So it's almost like I had these boundaries in place, because there was a deeper sense of myself and an honoring of myself, and knowing that, I'm just going to rest here. I'm going to rest here and surrender to the water, allow myself to be held by this water, and let what needs to take place, take place. So it's almost like in that moment, I couldn't tell you mentally what was going on, but there was something that was so deeply known to me that I was able to allow this to just take place. And, there's a beautiful, beautiful stillness to it. It's really, really peaceful. There is nothing there, yet everything exists in that space. And it's a space and it's a moment. And yeah, it's just incredibly, incredibly, incredibly still. And yet so powerful. And you come out of it feeling much, much stronger. The process going through it is shit. I'll just say that right now. But yes, so what I'm trying to say here, and the reason why I'm sharing this experience, is that this cannot be, and I'll share the message of what the guides have also said, you cannot find this in a textbook. You have to live the experience. Our awakening, our ascension, our liberation resides in living through and being present in the experiences that life is bringing to us, or what we are creating as well. So yeah, and then I want to leave you with a direct message from the guides, and they go, growth has no manual, cannot be found in a book. It is a journey of death and rebirth that must be experienced fully awake to boldly live the life you were born to live. So I will leave you with that. Thank you all so much for watching this extendedly long insight. If you have enjoyed it, please do go ahead and share it with your loved ones, your colleagues, your friends, your family. Leave us a comment below, a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do go ahead and subscribe. And if you are looking for extra support this month, come and join the energetic alignment session, which is taking place on Sunday the 17th of August at our usual time, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time, 7 p.m. European time. And the theme this month is called Sacred Fire Rising, and that's our group healing journeys. And then yeah, that is it. And I look forward to seeing you guys all next month. Enjoy this month as best as you can. Allow yourself to step into this new reality that is there waiting for you, however that looks for you. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next month. Bye for now.